I came home early on a Tuesday. I wasn't supposed to be home at all. A client canceled at the last minute, and for once I didn't fill the gap with another call. I drove home instead, thinking I'd surprise my husband, Mark. Maybe we'd have lunch together. Maybe it would feel like old times. The house was quiet. The kids were still at school. I set my bag down by the door and walked toward the kitchen. That's when I heard his voice. Low, relaxed, confident. His office door was half open. "No, she has no idea," Mark said, and I stopped mid-step. I wasn't eavesdropping. I wasn't trying to listen. My body just froze. "She trusts me, always has. No prenup, so if we move fast, I keep the house and the cabin. She'll get whatever's left in the joint accounts. That won't be much." He laughed softly. "Yeah, I know she's got that little online thing, but I've been the primary earner for years. Courts care about real careers. I'll say I supported her business. She won't fight. It's not in her nature." I stood there, barefoot on cold hardwood, my phone still in my hand. 12 years of marriage, 2 kids, and he was planning to erase me financially like a bad investment. I didn't burst into the room. I didn't cry. I quietly picked up my keys, walked out the door, and drove until my hands started shaking so badly I had to pull into a Starbucks parking lot 20 minutes away. That's where the shock wore off, and something colder replaced it. My name is Elena. On paper, Mark and I looked solid. Seattle suburbs, 4-bedroom house, 2 decent cars, a waterfront cabin on Whidbey Island that everyone in his family called the Legacy. What almost no one noticed, including my husband, was how the money had slowly shifted. When we married, Mark earned more. He worked in tech management. I freelanced as a graphic designer while raising our kids. Then quietly, I built something. An online education platform, digital marketing, personal branding, small business growth. At first it was pocket money. Then it wasn't. By year 10, my business was generating around $180,000 per year. I never hid it, but I never highlighted it either. Most of my income went into joint expenses, tuition, groceries, vacations, mortgage payments. Mark still liked calling himself the provider. I let him. It mattered to him more than it mattered to me, or so I thought. That afternoon, sitting in my car, I did one thing that changed everything. I called a lawyer. Not just any lawyer. A divorce attorney specializing in high-asset cases in Washington state. I told her exactly what I'd heard. She didn't gasp. She didn't react emotionally. She said calmly, "Okay, first, don't move anything yet. Second, start documenting everything. Third, you need to understand this won't be quick or clean, but you're not powerless." That sentence saved me. She explained what Mark didn't know. Not all money is treated the same. Inheritance can remain separate property. Asset dissipation cuts both ways. And lying to the court is far more dangerous than being underestimated. "You don't win by being fast," she said. "You win by being accurate." Over the next few days, I learned the real rules. I did not drain joint accounts. That would have hurt me. Instead, I separated my current business revenue into properly documented operating accounts. I locked down payment processors and contracts. I froze new joint spending without touching existing balances. I gathered 12 years of financial records, every transfer, every contribution. Then there was the cabin. The down payment came from my grandmother's inheritance. The title had always been in my name. No joint funds had touched it. My lawyer smiled for the first time when she saw that. "That," she said, "is clean." For 6 days, I played my role perfectly. I made dinner, asked about his meetings, laughed at the right moments. Inside, I barely slept. On day 4, my lawyer filed for a temporary financial restraining order, a standard practice in Washington divorces. It froze both of us from hiding, selling, or moving assets without disclosure. Mark didn't know yet. He was still confident, too confident. On day 7, he sat me down at the kitchen island. "We need to talk," he said, sliding an envelope toward me. "I filed for divorce. I think it's best if you start looking for a place." I didn't open the envelope. Instead, I asked, "Before we do this, did your lawyer tell you about the financial freeze?" He blinked. "What freeze?" I slid my phone across the counter. "Court filing. Time-stamped. Official." His face changed. Fast. You filed first?" "Yes." He stood up abruptly, knocking his chair back. "This is insane. I was going to handle things fairly." I met his eyes for the first time that week. Fair would have been not planning to leave me with nothing. Silence. He knew then. What followed wasn't instant justice. It was months of mediation, depositions, forensic accounting. And this is where Mark unraveled. His hidden bonus, found. His assumptions about my business, wrong. His claim that he supported me, unsupported by evidence. The judge didn't punish him. The judge corrected the imbalance. We didn't get a perfect ending. We got a real one. The cabin remained mine. The house was sold. And the equity was divided fairly. Custody became 50-50. No one was left with nothing. But one thing changed forever. He never controlled the narrative again. People think power announces itself. It doesn't. Sometimes it sits quietly in the background, paying the bills, building something real, until the moment it's tested. And sometimes the person planning the blind side is the one who never sees it coming.